Hello guys, welcome to the Havel Lab. My name is Babatunde Arolo, and today I'm going to be talking about introduction to converting a percentage to a decimal. Okay, so the topic is this question is basically asking us to convert a percentage. We'll be given a percentage and we'll be asked to convert it to a decimal. Okay, but decimals basically means numbers that are not fractions. Okay, fractions are numbers like x over y, 5/3, right? So a decimal means numbers that are not like this. Decimal is more like numbers in a line, 5.3, 0.2, 1.2, something like that, right? So we'll be asked to convert a percentage, we'll be given a percentage, and we'll be asked to convert that to decimal, which is in these forms. Okay, so let's take a look at the question. This question says write 40% as a decimal, right? So one thing is that any number you find that's attached to a percentage sign, because this sign here, this sign means percentage sign, right? So this is basically saying divided by 100. This basically means divided by, so if you see 5%, that means 5 over 100, right? So you're dividing 5 by 100. Okay, so when we're asked to write 40% in decimal, basically all we're asked to do is say 40 over 100, because it's percent sign, right? So based on this example here, this is the same thing as 40 divided by 100. So we're gonna have to divide 40 by 100 to get the answer in this kind of form, in the decimal form, right? And there's no calculator, right? So we're gonna have to go through the old ways, right? So this is 40 divided by 100, right? And in order to do this, what I want to do first is I want to ask myself, what is the number at the bottom, right? The number at the bottom is 100, right? It has we're working with ones and zeros at the bottom now, right? So what I want to do is I want to ask myself how many zeros are behind the one. There are two zeros behind the one, right? And I'm going to use this. I'm going to use this very soon. I'm going to use that information very soon. So we know that two zeros behind the one, right? So what that means is we're gonna come over here to the to whatever is behind zero here. We're gonna come over here and we're gonna have to bounce through this number twice, because there are two zeros behind one. Right, so we're gonna have to bounce through these twice, right? So when we do that, this is one, two, and then we'll put a dot here. The dot is basically a dot. Right. So the reason why we bounced twice was because there were two zeros at the bottom. If there were three zeros, we would bounce three times. Right. So we could only bounce twice here. Right. So this is we have a dot, this is a 0.40, right? And so this is the same thing as saying 0.4, right? So you can add a zero in front of this. Doesn't matter, it doesn't really matter. So yeah, once you add a zero in front of it, you can see this is already in this form. This is like a decimal form already, right? So 0.40 is the same thing as 0.4. You don't need the extra zero. Whenever I see a zero at the end, you can just remove the zero. Okay, so let's take a look at that. This is 0.4. Check that out. Yeah. Okay, so let's look at more practice. Let's go another practice. Okay, so in this case, we're asked to write 9% as a decimal. Okay, and based on the previous examples that I've used, we know how a decimal looks like, right? A decimal is it's like normal numbers, like the numbers that don't need two lines, just a line, right? So 9% is basically saying 9/100. Okay, and the next step we're gonna take here is we're gonna ask ourselves how many zeros are behind the one at the bottom. There are two zeros, right? That means we have to bounce through 9 twice, right? So this is saying 1, 2, right? But if you notice, there's nothing in front of um of 9, right? So in that case, you can just put a 0 in front of 9 before we put a dot here, because we bounced twice, right? So always make sure that that like there's always a zero in front of the 9, because you don't want to leave it there stagnant. You can't just say point nothing 9, right? So we put a zero in front of the 9, which indicates that we've bounced twice, right? Because there were two zeros here, so that means you have to bounce twice, right? So this is point zero 0.09, right? This is something as point zero 0.09, which equals 0.09 in this case. So in this case, we don't remove the zero here because this zero here comes before the 9, right? So we can't just remove the zero. If there was a zero at the end here, then we can do that. But this zero comes before the 9, so we leave it as it is. We leave it as 0.09. So this is the answer in decimal form, 0.9. Okay, so yeah, so thank you very much for watching the video. Let me do a quick recap. Basically, we'll be given a question that is in as in a percentage form, and we'll be asked to change it to a decimal, right? And in order to do that, we have to divide the percent itself by 100, because anything that has percent attached is basically saying divided by 100, right? So when we do that, that will be the digits divided by 100, right? And we'll have to change that to decimal, right? And based on whatever we have at the bottom, which is in this case 100, we're going to have to move the number at the top twice to the left, right? Always have to move it to the left. Okay, when we move it to the left, then we'll just walk away from there, kind of see what the final answer is, and then plug it in. Okay, so thank you very much for watching the video. We hope it was helpful. Have a nice day.